Welcome back to the Arizona Daily Mix. If you have not figured out yet, I come from a family of morticians, and the conversation of dying is very important in family members. I'm sorry, I can't see that prompter too well. Can we turn that towards me so I can read this? Because I really want people to understand where I'm coming from. So let's start from there we go. Laying a family member to rest can be hard, and that is why Mountain View Funeral Home and Cemetery is having a workshop to help. Elisa, how are you?
I'm doing great, Brad. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, and I really wanted to make sure I saw that prompter and talked about this because as we've been talking, a lot of people think of funerals as sad. They think of them as someone passing and you know, you must be sad, you must be quiet and everything, but it's actually a celebration of life. Which is so important to people to understand. And a lot of people don't understand what goes on with funerals and what happens. And that's where you guys have started a nice workshop to explain to people, to help them be comfortable, to help them understand more. And it's so important now, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely, especially after coming off of COVID, when so many people have passed unexpectedly, families were not prepared, made it really difficult for people that hadn't even talked or thought about what their wishes might be.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting that people watch movies, they see TV shows and stuff. It's a lot different, and it's so important what you have here. And I'll hold up, this is a planner, which a lot of people, I do have to say, they don't want to talk about, but they need to, don't they?
That's right. So we're calling our workshop The Sensitive Side of Life, and it gives people the opportunity, whether it's in a senior community, in the comfort of your own home, we offer webinars, and we take families through this book, page by page, in a very comfortable environment to talk about that celebration of life. Yeah. It's an ideal way for people to feel that their wishes matter, instead of just saying, just throw me in the garbage or just cremate me and do whatever you want. It's no longer about the person that is passed. It's about their survivors and how they celebrate that individual. And that's what this book does. It helps them understand the importance of letting their family know a little bit more about their life, that in many cases, kids were completely unaware of those stories.
Right, and people have to understand that funeral planning is different than a will or from an estate set up for them. It's really different that people don't realize. Oh, well, I don't see it in Dad's will, I don't see anything, but you have it right here, which is going to help.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because people oftentimes say, I don't need any of this, I have life insurance, or my will is done. Many times a will or estate is not even settled or reviewed till months, could be a year, could be weeks, and there's nothing worse than cremating Dad and then reading in the will that he wanted to be buried at Mountain View Funeral Home and Cemetery.
Yeah.
So we try to make sure that people know the importance of not only filling this out, but letting your family know you've done it. Not hiding it, but exposing it so their kids or their siblings or their spouse or whoever's their person in charge knows where to find the book, so they know how to implement things.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I'll give a little story from my father putting together a party for the funeral. He put together this huge party, and it was very interesting. The kids came and they're like, what are you doing? No, what, Dad? And they were very upset and everything, but my dad had to sit them down and go, your father came to me and said this is what he wants. And that's why these workshops are so important for people to talk about. Because again, he wanted a celebration of life, and I think that's what people have to understand. When someone passes, it's a celebration of their life.
That's right. I took care of a gentleman, and he wanted champagne and strawberries, and his final wish was that I would have a champagne toast. And I remember my boss walking and going, same thing like your dad, what are you doing? You can't drink. And I said, oh yes, I can. I promised this man that I was going to toast him. And they just cheered and clapped and thought it was so cool that their funeral director was not stuffy like they had thought funeral directors were. We're pretty normal people on average.
There you go. And again, you know what the community is all about. You know how important you are to the community and to families who are having to deal with someone's passing. So I know we sit here kind of talking this little lighthearted, but it is very serious. But we also want that family to be comfortable. And I still talk like I'm working at my dad's funeral home, So, but yeah, we want them to be comfortable, and that's why this is so important for people to really at this time to come and sit and talk with you.
Right. We do a lot of community events where we draw people's attention to the importance of what we do in a very non-salesy, uncomfortable environment. And when people come and say, I've been thinking about this, I don't even know where to begin, we're able to say, we do know where to begin. You need to attend one of our free workshops, go through the book with us, get an understanding of what it's all about, and then take action. You got to have more than the book in your hand. You got to fill it out.
There it is. And I want do we say? There we go. All right, tell people how they can find out more about the Sensitive Side of Life workshop.
So you can certainly call Mountain View Funeral Home and Cemetery, 480-832-2850, or visit our website, mountainviewfuneralhomeandcemetery.com.
Well, Liz, thanks for stopping by. I've been wanting to do this. I'm so glad we were able to have this conversation, and it's a great conversation to have with your family, especially if you are needing to, of course, plan a funeral, which
Great.
is okay. So.
Thanks for having me. What a great morning. Thank you.
All right.